What's going on, everybody? This is your New York Sports Machine Sports Update. I'm Stephen Pierce alongside Alex Fasano. Alex, this weekend the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to beat down the Oakland Raiders 38-35.
There we
Give
go.
us a little recap of that game over there.
Well, it was a back-and-forth battle. I was on the edge of my seat the entire game. It was a shootout, as most people expected. Ben Roethlisberger and Derek Carr really battled each other. Unfortunately, we did have a little hiccup losing Ben Roethlisberger in the fourth quarter. All in all, a great game, wonderful game. Our defense stepped up. We had 3 forced fumbles. Again, late. The game came down to the wire. Chris Boswell hitting that last second field goal as time expired really put the game over, and it was just one heck of a game. Really a nail biter.
Absolutely, and you talk about the defense forcing turnovers and recovering fumbles. Talk about how they were the story of this game, as much as it was an offensive slaughter on both ends, really, both quarterbacks doing a great job. But talk about how the defense was able to win this one for the Steelers.
Well, our defense definitely stepped up. They had 3 forced fumbles. I think we also had a pick as well. Don't fact check me on that. But really, the key was containing Amari Cooper. Going to the game, Oakland has the threat in Derek Carr and Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree as well. They call him AC/DC, Amari Cooper, Derek Carr for Oakland. But we really held Amari Cooper down. He did have a touchdown. He had a couple big plays, but for the most part of the entire game, he was contained. Our corners really held it well. Antoine Blake and Cockrell also did very well containing all the receivers. Crabtree had a couple good grabs, but it was a great effort by the defense, forcing some fumbles. Mike Mitchell had a couple of big hits. It was a great defensive force for the Steelers, and that's good because we need that, especially as our offense is with this roller coaster ride of an offense we have with injuries and everything. The defense has really been consistent and forcing turnovers and playing well, and that's what we need really in Pittsburgh right now is just to sustain our defense.
Regardless of how well the defense played and how the offense seemed to come out of its shell a little bit, we're seeing stutters now every now and then from Pittsburgh. The headline of this game, regardless of the outcome, is obviously the injury to Big Ben, Ben Roethlisberger, spraining his foot, which is a bit of an odd injury there. But he was carted off the field. He's not going to play next week against the Cleveland Browns, and then the Steelers have the bye week, which will hopefully give him some time to be ready to come back and in Seattle against the Hawks over there. So talk about now what they're going to do. How is Landry Jones going to overcome and just, fill the starter role? And what are they going to do to be able to beat Cleveland?
Oh, Landry Jones. What are we going to do with him? Well, right now he is our backup, and he's going to have he looks like he is going to be the starting quarterback against Cleveland when they come to Pittsburgh on Sunday. And me personally, as a Steelers fan and as a just watching the games, I like Landry Jones. I don't think he's a producing quarterback where he can sustain a couple weeks, but he can hold it down for this upcoming week against Cleveland. They come to town. They're 2-6. We just have to, again, like I said previously, our defense has to sustain, and Landry just needs to do his job. Just dump the balls off to Antonio Brown, who set a Steelers franchise record, 7th most in the NFL in receiving yards against Oakland with 284. One amazing performance from him. I just love how Antonio Brown puts himself out there and just makes plays. He's just one heck of a receiver. But really, Landry Jones needs to find his weapons in Brown. In Heath Miller is over there if he needs him. D'Angelo Williams, another star of the game on Sunday. He better utilize this. A lot of screens to Williams. Let Williams run with the ball. We saw how he produced against Oakland, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams can produce. He said he will be there to step up if or when Bell got hurt, and he did get hurt. And Williams once again proved to us Steelers fans and all the world that he can hold this position down in Bell's absence, and Landry just needs to find that. Landry needs to see Williams when he's open and just hand it off. Let him run. Let Williams run with the ball.
Now, granted, he has all of these options. Landry Jones has these receivers, these running backs, but what does he bring to the table? What weapon or what self-weapons does he have? What can he actually do to make this team better?
Well, he's a young guy. He's been really the third, second string. He's been the backup position for a while now. And he does not have the worst quarterback mindset. He, on Sunday, had a nice 57-yard pass to Brown over on the sidelines, which was great. He also has that one drive against this game's escaping me here. He came in when Michael Vick got hurt against the Cardinals. He came in against the Cardinals, and he produced a winning drive. It just shows that he can produce if needed. And He has a decent arm. He's not the smartest quarterback, but he can just do. All he has to do is do his job. Again, just do your job. Fill the position. Dump the ball off when he needs to. Hand it off when William wants to run. Just play the position of quarterback. Don't be great. Don't be amazing. Just do your job.
Now, the season has been one plagued with injuries so far. We talk about Big Ben going down earlier this season, and again now with a sprained foot, which kind of boggles my mind. How can you sprain your foot, and why aren't you playing? Also, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, there's so many injuries that I don't understand in football that you should just kind of play through. But granted, I'm a hockey fan, so my mind, I'll put it at ease here. But I want to talk about Le'Veon Bell because he is such an enormous part of the Steelers team. But they've been able to do some things and play fairly well without him, obviously, coming off some wins. Now, what are they going to do now? Not even against Cleveland, for the rest of the season. Who is their main guy? Who's their main running back? Obviously, they have Antonio Brown and weapons like that, but who's going to be able to run the football appropriately and possibly step up to not to the level of Le'Veon Bell, but where he could potentially play?
I mean, again, we say D'Angelo Williams is our guy. He showed us in the beginning of the season when Bell had the 2-game suspension. He told us Steelers fans, he's there. He's ready. He's going to do his job. He's going to hold it down until Bell returned. And he did. He produced. Bell came back. Bell was doing great. Bell and Williams had a great running backfield tandem between the two of them. But then when Bell got hurt again, Williams just reiterated to the fans, I'm here to do my job, and I'm going to step up. And he did. Again, I say 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He shows us in his 10th season in the NFL he can definitely still play, and we are so grateful for that. And he's such a great player. He has so much to bring to the table. And you look at Bell being injured, it just shows how much of a great guy and a great player Bell is. It shows how much we need him. When he came out in that game with the torn MCL, we were all like, wow, now our season's in trouble. But then we look back at Williams and say, you know what, we're going to be content right now. But Bell as a player and being on the injury, he's been a wonderful person on the sideline. Like, when he's injured, he shows how human he is and how real he is. He's telling us fans, don't worry, I'm going to be stronger, I'm coming back. I got this injury, it's going to make me a better person. And that's what we love in our players. We love the respect that the players give to the team, to the town. Pittsburgh is one amazing organization, and it just shows it in its players. And we are very sorry for the loss of Bell. But you know what? He is going to come back stronger, and as of right now, Williams will hold it down. He'll definitely he'll man the fort for us.
As of now, the Steelers sit in second place. They're behind the 8-0 Cincinnati Bengals. So, and they're right above the Ravens, who are 2-6. So you sit kind of comfortably there, 5-4, in the middle of those two teams. That, I mean, you're catchable, and Cincinnati's catchable at this point. I mean, there's not too much left in it's the midway point in the season, so anything can happen, anything goes. Obviously, the Steelers have a bunch of injuries to overcome, and their backup is playing now. But where do you see the Steelers fitting in, and how can they, finagle their way into the playoffs? And do they do it in the division, or they do it in kind of the wild card back in the lower seeds?
Well, right now, if the playoffs started, if the season ended today, Pittsburgh will be in with that 6th seed. And we've been there before. I take you back to Super Bowl 40 when we won against Seattle. We were the 6th seed, first team to ever do it in the 6th seed. We've been there before. We know. I keep saying we. It shows how much the Steeler fans love this team. The Steelers are in the 6th seed. At this point, the Bengals are 8-0. It's pretty tough to try and catch up to them at this point. But you know what? Right now, our objective is win games. Just keep winning. If we keep winning these games, we're in a tight race with the Jets. They have the 5th seeds. They're going against they're trying to catch up to the 8-0 Patriots. It's a battle. Just win the games, keep winning, and we, at this point, it's just that wild card spot. It doesn't look like the division is going to be ours, but we still have a shot.
Just before we wrap up, do you foresee any more hiccups into the season, or do you actually see the Steelers being able to hold down a lower seed for the playoffs?
Well, with the Steelers, you never tell with injuries. There's always something going on with Steelers. That's why we love it. It's literally such a dramatic up and down season every year. But if everyone stays healthy, if our stars shine, we'll be a team to threaten with. And of course, I love it because all the analysts, all the professionals, they never count the Steelers out because there's so much talent there. And whether you love them, you hate them, you got to respect the amount of talent and skill there is on the Steelers between the offense and the defense and coaching too, and just the organization as a whole. I don't care if you hate them or you love them, you got to respect them.
With all the injuries, with all the hiccups, all the drama at the midway point in the season, we can only wait and see where the Pittsburgh Steelers will be. This has been your New York Sports Machine Sports Update. I'm Stephen Pierce alongside Alex Fasano.